Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-doo. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Oh, what the? Cuckoos! Look what I found here! Sing it up! Would you look at this? Look what I found here. Now, I'm not too quite sure what this could be, but would you just look at it? Let's open it up and see what's inside. Would you look at this? A brand new M4 rifle. Now what could this mean? Well, only one thing to do is to check the guidebook. See what this could mean. Would you look at it? Well, as I do recall, back in 2012, Obama said that he would pull out of the Middle East. A new foreign policy set into effect. But how does this sexy M4 rifle relate to that? Clearly, would you look at it? This is an example of how the M4 is now a retired weapon. With no major conflicts in the Middle East, this weapon is being cast aside and just thrown over there. Would you look at it and be recycled? I think I'll salvage this particular rifle. Now, would you just look at this? What else do we have here? What's this? This looks some sort of antique technology. Antiquated. Would you look at it? Let's check the guidebook. Ah yes. Back in May 2013, it was exposed by Edward Snowden that President Barack Obama requested major cellular networks such as Verizon, as you can see here, a Verizon Galaxy S4, that they could call for every backlog so that the NSA could monitor American citizens. This was a clear breach of the Fourth Amendment, protecting American citizens against unwarranted search and seizures. Would you look at it? Well, would you look at this? Hey guys! Well, would you look at that? Would you look at this? Would you look at this? Come behind the fence and see what else good stuff you can find. Would you look at that?
Oh hey, look at this. Hey, there are two graphs from the Great Recession. The Great Recession was nicknamed the Great Recession in 2008 when President Obama named it the Great Recession. Well, it was caused by a housing bubble in 2007, and that was caused by the Bush administration back in 2003. The Bush administration moved for home ownership for everyone policy, which he lowered interest rates and forced banks to loan money to anyone. Like even a dog could just get these loans. So people defaulted on these loans, obviously, because they didn't have the money to, and then the banks didn't receive this money, so they started losing lots of money. The investors started losing that money too, and then credit started going down, and everyone was just losing money, and then the stock market crashed in 2008. Obama signed the stimulus package, which was $831 billion, which basically just went to bailing out these big companies. And he saved nothing for small businesses. But he did place regulations on these banks and forced them to support small businesses. Wait, hey, look at this, Andrea.
Whoa, dang! Here's a brochure, and it's talking about the importance of these artifacts that I just found. Here it says, Barack Obama was considered as a very environmentally sensitive president. He took great efforts to better the efficiency of renewable and non-renewable fuels. For example, he supports increasing CAFE standards to 40 to 45 miles per gallon to reduce the United States dependency on foreign oil. He also strongly supported biofuels, wind, solar, nuclear, and other alternative fuels that has increased funding on research involving clean coal and reducing waste from nuclear power plants. In 2009, he spoke at the UN that climate change is a single factor that no country, poor or wealthy, can escape. It is something that all should put some effort in maintaining the environment to escape the deadly consequences of rising seawaters and increasing temperatures that would later affect them all in the near future. He explained that one must start now, and pushing the problem back year after year will do more harm than good. And here it talks about the women's rights Barack Obama advocated. He placed a spotlight on women's rights internationally about the issues affecting women's health, education, and economic opportunities. Obama appointed the first White House senior advisor, a domestic violence expert, Lynn Rosenthal, on the violence against women, where she has helped develop many new policies and programs to reduce domestic violence and sexual assault on women. He also signed the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, which also helped women fight against pay discrimination in the workplace based on gender. And under Obamacare, it has helped cover women's medical issues such as payments for mammograms, cancer screenings, and birth control.
Hey, Adrian, look at what I found.
Whoa, guys, check this out. Found this graph, this picture of a thing called Facebook. Well, according to the guidebook here, this graph shows U.S. troop declining from 2003 to 2011 in Iraq. So this graph shows how the election of the President Obama in 2008 began the troop decline in Iraq. This was ending the war on terror that Bush had declared in 2001. So all these troops coming out, there was going to be less death abroad, which is a good thing for all the Americans. And then this other one, Facebook, that symbolizes a new era of communication. Generations ago, people mailed letters or went over to each other's houses if they wanted to talk. But now, according to this guidebook, Facebook had taken over all the forms of communication. Even the president used this to gain more popular support. And when this time capsule was sent off, there was over 35 million likes on this page. Can you believe that? I mean, this truly was a big part of the time period because it just showed how everybody communicated. Guys, you gotta see this. Yo, Jason, you have to come and see this.
What's all the fuss about it?
I don't know. It seems like there's a time capsule somewhere back.
Oh, really? Whoa! Look what I got here. I got a picture of gas. And also an article by the New York Times that says oil price would skyrocket if Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz. Interesting. According to this guidebook page, it says in the years between 2011 and 2012, the United States began a dispute over the Strait of Hormuz. It first started when the United States began to become concerned with Iran's nuclear program. At that time, it was believed that Iran was using enriched uranium for the purpose of developing nuclear weapons instead of using it for nuclear reactors. As a result, the United States threatened Iran to stop its nuclear program, and if not, America would impose a tight oil embargo on their country. Threatened by this growing issue, Iran countered, saying that they would close the Strait of Hormuz. The United States would replace that oil embargo. However, even that did not stop President Obama from signing a piece of legislation imposing sanctions on Iran's central bank to make it more difficult for Iran to sell its oil. Currently, the Strait of Hormuz is open. However, if it were to close, it would have had a profound effect on the world, leading many countries to lack oil and the oil's price to soar. Take a look at that. It's a solar panel. I think it still works. It says, according to this guidebook, that it says, with the growing effects of pollution on the environment, the United States began to seek new alternatives to use instead of oil, and others to maintain the health of the earth. President Obama called to support the development of renewable energies and spend much of the taxpayers' dollars on the cause. According to the House Committee on Energy and Commerce, out of the companies that have received government funding, 8% of these renewable energy
industries have since failed or gone into business. One notable example is Solyndra, a company in which the Energy Department invested $535 million into and received nothing back. In total, 7 notable renewable energy companies have gone bankrupt. Although these failures have brought much controversy regarding what taxpayer money should be spent on, we must continue to take these risks in order to create a better world. Pretty cool.
Hey Michael, look at this. Look what I found.
Oh, awesome. It's a Latinos for Obama poster. It reminds me of when Obama was highlighting issues in the Hispanic and Latino community during his 2 terms. One of these issues was immigration reform. He essentially felt that instead of deporting the 11 million undocumented immigrants in the United States, he'd give them a chance at citizenship, but with very strict guidelines, so they'd still be paying taxes and at the same time still have a shot at citizenship. Also found a political cartoon. It says President Obama's energy plan. President Obama felt that instead of importing foreign oil, he could use the money for foreign oil to promote renewable energy and having the United States less dependent on foreign oil. But sometimes, like, the Republicans think that he's not doing so well, which is shown in this cartoon, where Obama is leading a bunch of Americans across the plateau, across the canyon, from the plateau of oil dependency to alternative energy. But there's no bridge to lead him across there, which is essentially saying that Republicans think Obama has really lofty goals and he can't reach them.
Hey Howard, look at this. Look what I found. Behind this bush.
An old IRS tax form and a search and seizure warrant. This IRS tax form reminds me of when Obama had that scandal. The IRS decided to target conservative groups like the Tea Party because of their conservative natures. They looked into their tax evasion with more scrutiny. Figures. This search warrant is similar to the one U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder signed to confiscate a Fox News reporter's phone because he was conservative.
Hey, let's see if I can find something else. Oh, hey, look. I found Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 2, the movie. This movie symbolizes the end of the Harry Potter legacy. The first book was released in 1997 in England. The release of the movie, The Deathly Hallows, ended this legacy. The Harry Potter series has made history countless times, which is why the end of it is so important. Firstly, it made history by being the best-selling book of all time, selling over 450 million copies. In addition, the last 4 books set a record for the fastest-selling books in history. And Gangnam Style was a single released in December 2001 and 2012, and created by South Korean pop star Psy. It was the #1 on the Go On charts of South Korea before it became the first YouTube video to reach 1 billion views. It has been viewed about 2 billion times since its inception. Gangnam Style is referring to the style of the Gangnam district in Seoul, which is known for its hip, creative culture. Gangnam Style has spawned millions of parodies and had a lasting influence on American culture. Whoa, look what I found on the bottom of the pile.
I found a tennis ball and what looks like to be a medallion of some sort. Let's see what the brochure says. Okay, well, first off, this tennis ball symbolizes the longest match in the history of tennis, which occurred at Wimbledon between John Isner and Nicholas Mahut. This match lasted 11 hours and 4 minutes. Can you believe that? With a final score of 6-4, 3-6, 6-7, 7-6, and 70-68. And then This medallion here seems like it symbolizes Michael Phelps, who actually has become the biggest decorated Olympian with 22 Olympic medals, 18 of them all golden. Wow, this guy must be amazing. I mean, he earned 6 gold medals and plans to retire after his last individual race, which was in London Olympics of 2012.